Let's switch to Fauci, because I can remember seeing emails that were out. It had to be 3 or 4 years ago, where he was trying to convince other scientists to go with the story. We can get by with the natural origin story. It certainly looks unlikely. And they switched their position on what was staring them right in the face. It was like a walking, quacking duck, more or less, that it came from this lab. He convinced them because he knew he had funded gain of function research. And he told you was that under oath, under testimony, that had never happened?
Absolutely. And that's a felony to lie to Congress. And we've gotten more evidence over the last year. From the Biden administration, they revealed nothing. From the Trump administration, particularly with Secretary Kennedy, we've gotten a lot of information. That information has revealed that not only did he lie to Congress, he knew that he was lying to Congress. He knew he was making several continuous and contiguous lies to begin with, but he also, from the very beginning, was destroying records, sending letters and notes to Francis Collins, the head of NIH, saying, read this and destroy this. That sounds more like the CIA talking to each other, but not the executive branch. That's against the law and also a felony. So we've been negotiating with him for material and for testimony. This has gone on for some time. He slow walked us, finally agreed to come in voluntarily. That would have been this month. And then this week, or last week perhaps, rather, he says he's not coming in. And so we've issued a subpoena. I was able to get subpoena power for our committee last year. And so with this subpoena power, we will bring him in unless he decides to fight it in court. So we'll see what happens. But I think he does need to come in and testify. Look, 15 million people died worldwide, and it was from dangerous research that he funded. What a judgment error. Probably no judgment error equal to this in modern medical history.
And it became clear early on, wow, if people connect the dots between what's been going on and what happened, that would have been very bad for him. And it is bad, but now he's pardoned, and he's got pardon going forward, pardon going backwards. I don't know whether those stand up, but 2 years ago, David Sachs, I'm sure you know him, he said this explains exactly how he orchestrated the pandemic, or at least knew about gain of function research, and then changed the story. And I tweeted at the time, can someone explain to me why Dems line up to defend this guy? Can you explain why Democrats have lined up to defend Fauci when it was clear as the nose on your face what had happened?
I think he represents Big Brother in public health, the Big Brother that tells you what to do, doesn't give you advice, but commands you and tells you what to do. And the left really is fine with an authoritarian approach to medicine. But to give you a degree of how much this dishonesty was, he knew in January that there were cases that did not come from the market, the wet market with the exotic animals. He already knew that, and it was admitting it privately. But then for the next year or two, he kept saying, oh, look at this paper. It looks like it came from the market. All of our evidence points towards the market. But privately, he was saying to others in January 2020 that they already knew that the original cases came not from the market, but from somewhere else.
Wasn't patient zero was in the lab, wasn't he?
Yeah, we think that patient zero, there were 3 people sick in Dr. Xi's lab in November of 2019. We think by the time you get to December, there are thousands of people sick, and it's raging through the community. The rumor mills were out there. The doctors were talking about it. By the time you hit January, we're probably talking of tens of thousands of people, and everybody knew it was going human to human at that point, and the Chinese government was suppressing this. They felt their own guilt, but then Fauci felt his guilt because he'd been an adamant and enthusiastic supporter of gain of function. You remember he wrote in the Washington Post in 2011 that, yes, there's some danger, but the danger is worth it. Even if a pandemic should occur from this type of research, the danger is worth it. I don't think the danger was worth it. There's been no great discoveries from gain of function, and he should be vilified throughout history and throughout all time for this unreasonable risk he took with all of our lives.
I mean, I could almost defend that because, research, you do it in a P3 or a P4 setting, and it's dangerous. There are things like that. But then to know full well what happened, and then to sort of connect the dots, wow, I could be, someone could point a finger at me for this, and then to completely mislead really the world for a couple of years on the likelihood of where it came from. What about the pardons? Will there be any effort to look at the legality of those for him?
Yes, the pardon will be examined as well. There will be questions about, did he seek the pardon? What specific crimes did he seek? Did he ever meet with President Biden? Is he aware that President Biden is aware of the specific crimes that were intended to be pardoned? But there are also questions about, can you have a pardon to a non-specific crime? Can you have a vague pardon for anything over a period of time? But he also will be under oath, so he will have to tell the truth once again, or he'll be committing new crimes. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a challenge to get him. I think we will have to fight him in court. But the one thing about the January 6th committee that was a good precedent is the courts have upheld congressional subpoenas. So I think there's a very good chance the court will command him to come. He can't be made to testify. He could come and plead the Fifth Amendment. But I think he'll go down in history then as the one person who ever was head of public health who ended up pleading the Fifth Amendment, which is in itself damning.